The Sun in Sagittarius, the planet of goals, wishes, and ideals, will square Neptune, the god of the ocean, the big fog, the planet of saviors and victims, on Wednesday, December 14th. You may feel confused, low on energy, disillusioned, and uninspired. Let's take a closer look and break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer working whole sign system and specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive astrology. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave me a like or a comment. I appreciate it a lot, and I like interacting with you guys, and it of course encourages me to bring more content your way. Speaking of more content, I have officially started YouTube membership program. There's 2 tiers. The first one gives you the benefits of being a subscriber, special emojis and special badge. And the second one gives you access to exclusive content, which includes monthly horoscopes for the rising signs, which have a lot of in-depth information with specific dates and tips on how to navigate the months ahead. Before I dive into this video, I also wanted to let you know that I am hosting a webinar dedicated to astrology of 2023 on December 17th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. You can subscribe, sign up at the link down below. As well as you already know, but I'm making planetary magic items, choosing astrologically benevolent supportive times, kind of like birthing them into existence. You know, as a person, you don't have a choice. Unless, you know, I believe in eternal soul, so maybe we do choose when we come into the world, but you're given your natal chart. And if you work with the planets and try to choose the most opportune moments, you can actually work with the planets and use the energy of the planets to help you. So I've been doing that, creating candles and oils that empower you. And right now I have Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury items on my website. Links down there. So let's talk about the Sun, Neptune, and let's take a look at the rising sign horoscopes. So the Sun is our perfect image. The Sun usually represents who we're trying to become. It's all of the dreams we have, right? You may want to be the CEO at your company, you may want to be a parent, you may want to be an astrologer or a business owner. Neptune is not as interested in separation. The Sun might want to separate, Neptune wants to unite. Neptune says that there's no point in standing apart, you're part of the universe, you are all connected. It deals with saving other people, it deals with helping the world, it deals with ideals. So there's a little bit, Sun deals with ideals, Neptune deals with dreams. So sometimes the two together could be actually quite good for reaching the dreams, but sometimes Neptune can make you disillusioned with a dream, especially in a more challenging aspect, which the square between the two is a tough aspect. It means that standing apart is somehow compromised by Neptune, is somehow blocked, or you need to sacrifice something, you need to rethink what makes you happy. So yeah, questioning your ideals and letting some of them die, letting some of the fixed, stern images dissolve so that something else can be birthed into existence. Both of these are in mutable signs, forgive me. So mutable signs tend to be more flexible. Definitely an opportunity for us to be more adaptable and to see where in life are we being too stubborn. The transit is exact on Wednesday, December 14th, but you will feel it from Sunday, December 11th until Saturday, December 17th. So that entire week, you know, December 12th, December 11th is when you might feel it the most. More noticeable for people with planets between 19 and 25 mutable signs. So Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sag, planets or angles. if you have those, maybe you're going through inner transformation or dealing with certain fog a lot more. And let's not forget that Mars is retrograde. So being confused, uncertain, questioning what is it that makes you happy is quite common right now. So don't expect a ton of yourself. Around this time, on a physical level, and we actually had Mars squaring Neptune just recently, so if you've dealt with any immune system issues, this might be the time when some of them are coming for review for another round. Maybe you're feeling low on energy, your immunity can be compromised, so I would try to take it easy this week from December 11th until December 17th. You may be more, like hypochondria sometimes comes with this transit, like imagining more issues than there are, but perhaps not the best time to get any major medical procedures, or, there might even be like a chance of misdiagnosis. I have a doctor's appointment coming up, so not great. Of course, if you have something scheduled, do it, but like perhaps avoid the December 14th and like a couple of days before and after. I would try to stay away from taking any pills or making any like major decisions. So feeling low on energy, feeling disappointed. A lot of times the disappointment may come from your personal tendency to over-idealize things or people. Maybe your expectations from the start have been a touch unrealistic. So there's a bit of a course correction. There is a need to look more honestly at the situation and the people, right? So if you feel like someone is not living up to your expectations, well, ask why are you placing those expectations on them, and how can you actually work with yourself and perhaps place different expectations on yourself, or the biggest gift you can give to someone, including yourself, is to just accept them for who they are, right? So watch out for placing too much weight on images, because Neptune will likely tell you that you're wrong and your image might feel corrupt somehow. Watch out for escaping. It might be easier to abuse food, drugs, alcohol, overspend, overextend yourself. Stay honest, try to stay rational, grounded. Avoid any major like business dealings or negotiations at this time, and instead lean into spirituality. Meditate, do a sound bath, paint, hug someone you love for like 3 hours, take a nap, give back, like Neptune in a square to the sun. It's interesting because like Neptune in a square to the sun will also make you follow your dreams, but sometimes dreams come up short, or there's just like a realization that something that you're dreaming about is not quite perfect, and the imperfection can actually bring beauty. So be open to, don't get too worried about the flaws or imperfections. Instead, try to focus on the unique pattern or uniqueness of your relationship or uniqueness of your pain and your growth, and love you for you. I was meditating this morning, and there was something really profound, I think, about being and becoming. We oftentimes live in the state of becoming. We're constantly, especially we live in this world that is very focused on healing. We're all just like healing our inner child all the time, and we're getting over our traumas, and that's great. You should keep doing that. Keep trying to be better every single day. But while you do that, you should also be. You should be okay with your anxieties, with your pain, with your sensitivity and insecurity, and the fact that you're not perfect, the fact that you cannot always just be chill in the face of drama, or you cannot be yeah, it's hard sometimes. Like, we're working on ourselves, but at the end of the day, you're probably going to be working on yourself your entire life. So the biggest gift you can give to yourself is just accept the fact that you are an imperfect human and keep trying better. So let's take a look at the 12 signs. Probably going to try to do like a quick run and just give you some of the themes. And please let me know in the comments below how this is resonating and where you might already be seeing some of those topics. So for Aries rising, the Sun in the 9th will square Neptune in the 12th. And the Sun in the 9th wants to expand, wants to learn, wants to take on new things, maybe travel. And Neptune in the 12th might kind of create an issue with that, because 12th house is sometimes losses connected to those topics. So maybe you're dealing with issues related to travel, writing, and education. You may feel disillusioned about what you're trying to do in the direction you're trying to take. What's exciting though is Jupiter is about to go into your first house, and there's going to be more courage and more clarity, but for now, maybe you are not quite sure. 12th house, Neptune may also just ask you to spend some time solo and retreat, and maybe look at how you are being too hard on yourself, what kind of bad habits you have, what kind of are you doing too much? Are you sacrificing your mental health and your well-being? So solitude, dreams, meditation, intuitive messages can be very important right now. And yeah, watch out for major decisions when it comes to education or travel. For Taurus rising, we have Sun in the 8th house squaring Neptune in the 11th house. And here you can have a sense of confusion and uncertainty when it comes to the groups you belong to and your friendships, and maybe wondering whether you have like a strong support system. Let's say you have recently moved and now your friends are not being as good at staying in touch, or you have been questioning your church and kind of thinking of maybe making changes, mixing things up. So the Sun in the 8th will want you to connect, because 8th house is the place of shared resources, partnerships, joint ventures. But Neptune in the 11th might create a sense of is this what you want? And if you're not sure who your true friends are or how to deal with a more complicated period in the friendship and in the relationship, don't rush. Try to be patient with yourself and, don't make any major decisions, not right now. For Gemini rising, Sun in the 7th house is going to square Neptune in the 10th house. And here you have tension between business, relationships, partnerships, romantic relationship, any contractual obligations you have, and your career. So there might be a sense of uncertainty about professional topics and where you want to go. Maybe some tension between your business or things that you want to start with your partner and your career, feeling uncertain how to proceed, feeling a sense of not knowing where to go or who to partner up with. Quite normal. Don't push through it. Take a step back, focus on yourself, breathe, create a vision board on Pinterest of what your ideal job would be, what your ideal relationships might be. There might also be some kind of, Neptune in the 10th gives you a job opportunity, but that affects your relationship. Perhaps your new job opportunity needs you to move or needs you to work insane hours, and your partner is not on board with that, or the relationship is too new. So there might be a sense of confusion. So don't rush, trust that things will work themselves out. For Cancer rising, Sun in the 6th house is going to square Neptune in the 9th house. So I think here it's your workload and your daily life versus your beliefs. And because Neptune in a square to the Sun sometimes makes old beliefs and old ideals die. I wonder here, like, is your work right now connecting to what you believe in and what you're trying to achieve? And if it's not, do you need to release a job? Do you need to change your schedule? Do you need to restructure something? Or maybe do you need to rethink your beliefs, because maybe your job, maybe the glitches or issues you're dealing with right now are temporary. Maybe it's not, there's not like a need for major overhaul. But definitely looking at your guiding principles and your morals and your ideals in the context of work drama, potentially. How have things been at work? Have you experienced any tensions, any challenges? For Cancer rising, Mars is retrograding in the 12th house, and that's not the easiest placement. And, you know, there's been a lot of 12th house, 6th house oppositions. So definitely could be the time to look at your workload and see how you can change things. For Leo rising, Sun in the 5th house will square Neptune in the 8th. And here you're dealing with tension between romance, creativity, and children versus resources. So you may be disagreeing with your partner about resources and how to spend money, how to put things together, right? Like maybe you're moving in together, but you don't have a clear agreement as far as who pays for what. So you may need to have more more conversations related to that. There might be issues connected to investing money into your children, maybe certain debts you need to address. And creative projects, right? Like Sun in the 5th house for Leo risings would want to have more joy, would want to have more fun, but Neptune in a square to the Sun could be a source of uncertainty. It's like, well, you want this creative project, but is your financial strategy solid, or do you need to readjust, right? But also, yeah, like also potentially not being on the same page with your partner about a certain thing. And that could be creative partner, romantic partner, a parent, whoever you are interacting with when it comes to money or values, and needing to take a step back, rethink it, and maybe release a certain ideal, a certain belief you hold dear that is outdated. For Virgo rising, Sun in the 4th house will square Neptune in the 7th house. And here we're dealing with family, home, real estate, living situation versus relationships. And there might be a literal issue, right? Like you live with your parents, but your partner wants to move in together and you feel guilty and you need to clarify some things. You need to figure out whether you are ready for the move or you want to stay with your parents. Or I'm also wondering here, it's like 4th house dealing with childhood and family karma and early conditioning versus your relationships. How are things from the past, how are things from your family are still being seen or still showing up in your relationships? And what do you need to release? What do you need to let go of in order to have better relationships? Watch out for being too self-sacrificial here. Watch out for blaming your partner for things that maybe you have allowed to happen, because it might be like very easy to either just give them everything or blame them for things that maybe you yourself have chosen to give them. For Libra rising, we have Sun in the 3rd house squaring Neptune in the 6th. Sun in the 3rd has a lot of ideas. There might be business ideas, maybe new communication projects, writing projects, your schedule. And Neptune in the 6th can create some kind of delay. It can be like, here is a confusing health issue that you need to deal with. Or here is this problem that you don't quite know how to figure out. I think with the Sun in the 3rd house in the opposition to Mars in the 9th, there could have been a sense of like revisiting your beliefs, revisiting your schedule, trying to figure out how you can do your everyday life better. So with Neptune being in the 6th house, it might be the time to release certain things, to maybe say goodbye to a project that you've been spending a lot of time in, and try to find more joy, more flow, and maybe put less pressure on yourself, as sometimes, being a Libra rising, your descendant is Aries, and you might kind of have like very clear goals and be like very, very militant about certain things. So here, how can you let something go and rethink your daily life? Sometimes it can also be not about doing too much, but maybe here you need to build up a schedule so you can take action towards your dreams. For Scorpio rising, Sun in the second squares Neptune in the fifth, and we're dealing with tension between finances, values, and romance, creativity, and children. So somehow, maybe your values are not aligned with your partner, and maybe you need to, I wonder, like sacrificing things with Neptune being in the fifth house. Maybe you need to sacrifice something. Maybe you're letting go of a really high paying job, but finding more fulfilling work. Because like there might be a tension between like work matters and your joy. And Neptune in the fifth might make you look closely at like, what is joy for you? Is it money, or is it having work that puts a smile on your face? Romantic issues connected to finances, maybe it's not super clear, maybe you don't feel valued in your relationship and you need to have an honest conversation. Children could be, maybe you're spending a lot of money on your kids and you don't quite know how to handle your next vacation, but there might be a need to kind of figure out or even have conversations with your partner about children. Are you on the same page? Like maybe you love them, but they don't want to have kids and you have some serious thinking to do. For Sag rising, we have Sun in the first house squaring Neptune in the fourth, and you're very literally dealing with some kind of confusion related to home, family, or living situation and your identity. Sun in the first house, and you may be reinventing yourself. You're maybe trying to start new things, pursue new projects, while Neptune in the fourth house will perhaps bring some kind of family karma to review or create a sense of confusion when it comes to where you live. Maybe you feel disillusioned with your living situation. Maybe you feel disillusioned with your family dynamic. And it is likely that for a while you're going to feel frustrated and you may not have all the answers right now, but eventually you may find an answer. Just don't expect to have all the answers right now, I would say. Also, I think with Neptune in the fourth, needing to let go, needing to dissolve some of the childhood pain, needing to rethink how you look at childhood, how you look at your family, and maybe forgive, or maybe forgiveness is like a loaded topic, I know, but perhaps move on, right? Like focus on yourself and see yourself as separate from that early part of your life. For Capricorn rising, we have Sun in the 12th house squaring Neptune in the 3rd house. And here you're dealing with your desire for solitude, your creativity, your mental health versus siblings, neighbors, and your schedule. So Sun will definitely say that you want to release some of the past, you want to find joy in alone time, you want to maybe pursue some creative projects, but 3rd house Neptune will say that first you need to deal with the matters related to your siblings or your neighbors or your communication. But I think Neptune in the 3rd will also ask you to be more forgiving, to communicate with more kindness and patience and heartfelt truth, right? But don't, perhaps matters related to siblings, neighbors can be very confusing right now, or even your schedule, things may feel overwhelming and maybe you need to handle something and clear something before you're able to have some alone time. So try to be patient with yourself and with people in your life. For Aqua rising, we have Sun in the 11th squaring Neptune in the 2nd house. So here it's your friendships or your hopes and dreams versus your values and your finances. So with friendships, you may feel like a sense of dissatisfaction because maybe you have different ideals. Maybe you don't quite feel supported. Maybe you and your friends have different values that are at odds with one another. With dreams too, the sun in the 11th likely encourages you to pursue new things, to get excited about new possibilities, to take on a new role within the collective. But Neptune in the 2nd can blur financial matters. Maybe you want to be a leader, you want to be a teacher, you want to be like somehow prominent and make a difference, but you need to take care of debts or take care of any financial uncertainty first. If you feel unclear, if finances are not clear right now, maybe you need to ask for help. Maybe you need to share your frustrations with people in your life and wait for the fog of Neptune to clear. Definitely watch out for signing any contracts, getting any loans, or making major financial decisions at this time. And try to focus on the blessings you have, right? Like try to be grateful for the things that are working out and things that are already good in your life. Finally, for Pisces rising, we have Sun in the 10th house squaring Neptune in the 1st. And here you may be feeling the tension between your professional aspirations and your personal goals, or your career dreams and your immediate environment, right? For example, you want to be an actor, but you have a baby on the way. So you need to balance those two. And like I said, Neptune can be connected to sacrificing something. So weighing those things and asking what is more important to you right now. Is it figuring out the parenting aspect or pursuing your dreams? There might be a need to examine with Neptune in the 1st house how you are defeating yourself, right? Like Neptune in the 1st, maybe you're drinking a bit much, maybe you're consuming too much sugar, and you may need to address any negative tendencies or any self-defeating notions you have that are standing in your own way and make better choices. But if things seem confusing right now when it comes to work, that is okay. Don't expect to have all the answers immediately. This is not what it's about, especially with Mars still being retrograde and Mercury about to go retrograde at the end of this month. So this is all I have. It's a week-long transit, so take it easy, take good care of your health, lean into self-care, and report back. Tell me how it goes for you. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.